You look like Frankenstein because after you did like 500 million surgeries in your face, and still look at you and be like, oh my god, you look beautiful. No, we like you look like
Yeah. Guys, today I've got some bad news for those in the community who are trying to keep the Reaper at bay. Many of you use 5-pair inhibitors like finasteride and dutasteride. Potential side effects of these has been known for a while. But now there's a new study that's been brought to my attention. This was published on March 21. I mean, only 2 weeks ago. It basically shows that it not only decreases sperm quality and volume during the intake when you take it, but even after you get off it, you don't see a significant recovery. So it might lead to infertility by permanently reducing your sperm quality, according to this newest study coming from Korea. I mean, it was known before that reducing sperm quality was one of the potential sides. But it was said that getting off it brings it back, brings the quality back. So the game plan for people using it has been, okay, when we decide to have a baby, then I will get off it. I will stop taking it. But this new study shows that no significant recovery in men who use it for longer than 19 months. It permanently makes your sperm quality go empty. That's tough in this case. If you have been using it longer than 19 months, it might be GG, man. So you gotta choose between, risking infertility or hair. And I know some of you are gonna say, oh yeah, bro, if you are bald, there is even a bigger infertility factor. You won't even get to have the chance to have children anyway. So what is the problem here? You say that, but 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, a lot of yous will be oofy doofies I talk about in my videos. You will trick yourself into believing that the woman you are with, you married, didn't settle for you, that you are not the oofy, because like I said, everybody thinks the next guy is the oofy doofy. Oh, it is not me, it is the next guy. Many of yous are just in your early 20s, bro. 21, 22. You will eventually get married and stuff. You will graduate, start working, start making some money, and then get married. The usual life script. Then you will care about infertility. I mean, just tough stuff, man. What do you even do? How do you even fight the Reaper in this case? Because 5-pair inhibitors have been the name of the game for many Norwood victims. Especially dutasteride, because dutasteride is stronger than finasteride. Literally nukes your DHT. It is said to be 3 times stronger than finasteride. Now, this study has some limitations as well, of course. It doesn't say that it will cause infertility 100%. It just suggests that there was not a significant recovery in sperm quality. The weakness of the study, I believe, is the discontinuation period. It is only 6 months, bro. I don't see the sample size as a serious weakness, even though papers cite it as one of the limitations. It is not the best. 2000 would have been better, but 200 is okay. I just wish they waited another 6 months. But still, guys, this is a concerning study for those of you who are on Dutasteride. And I know for a fact that a lot of you watching this video are just brutal stuff, man. What do you even do? Oh yeah, bro, I will cross that bridge when we get to it. Currently, I'm a rehab room viewer. Bro, you will play your life script. Tough stuff, man. You are trying to run away from the Reaper. You try to look smacks. You try to change things, but it turns out that you can't even use Dutasteride if you want to have children in the future. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? The other day, the community member was telling me, oh, bro, yeah, I'm on finasteride and I am still losing hair. Imagine, bro, the guy is on finasteride, he's nuking his DHT and still losing hair. I was honest with him. I told him, dude, it is like you were destined for baldness. Some people were destined for greatness. You were destined for baldness, man. Sometimes Reaper really doesn't take no for an answer. And then he was like, oh, yeah, maybe I should hop on Dutasteride instead of finasteride, since it is more effective, right? Then boom. This time you are chemically castrated. Tough scenes, man. I mean, sure, finasteride and dutasteride are not the only ways to fight balding, but without them, it is gonna be tough. Some say, oh bro, there is hair systems. This hair system meme. Bro, it is a glorified wig. I love how they try to give it a more intellectual sounding name, cause putting on a wig sounds degrading. Just like how instead of Beta Box Deluxe, they say, oh, being on your purpose, being ambitious and generous at the same time. You need to hustle, bro. Just call it what it is, man. Beta Box Deluxe. Same thing here. Oh, hair systems. It is a glorified wig. It is not real hair. And you will have to maintain that, bro. It is a hassle. Some people can't even do that because of their hair conditions, sensitive skin. I mean, I personally would not recommend that unless you are like Norwood 5, Norwood 6, too far gone to a point where you can't even get a hair transplant. Just maintaining that, a hair system, a wig, is gonna be a hassle. You are gonna feel itchy at times. I wouldn't recommend that, man. My personal suggestion is, and always has been, hair transplant, along with finasteride. If you don't see any side effects, if you are fine with finasteride, if you respond well, you should go with that combination, bro. A couple of you were asking me about hair systems recently. Bro, yeah, what do you say? Should I just shave it off completely and use a hair system instead? Bro, it is a wig. It is a glorified wig. But I will say this, even though hair systems are just a wig, I would recommend even that, over going bald at such young ages like 21, 22. Bro, being bald is such a brutal blow to your SMB. At any age, really, but even more so when you are a Zoomer. I mean, under this video, for example, guys, people were coping out of their minds in the comments. Oh, bro, just embrace it, man. You're gonna embrace it. It is better to be bald than masculine. That masculinity cop. Again, the cop was unbearable, really. This guy instantly went up like 4 points. Instantly. And coppers in the comments were still like, oh, dude, just shave it off and embrace being bald. What are you saying, man? The kid instantly went up 4 points. He went from a 38-year-old accountant to a cute Chadlight Zoomer. Instant life change. And all the commenters are like, oh, dude, that is gay. The cop is crazy, bro. Then you have content creators like Balding Cafe, whatever. Oh, the confidence you deserve is finally here. More like the cop you didn't need, but you deserve is finally here. That is the funny thing about channels like Balding Cafe. If you really need to watch Balding Cafe, whatever, to cuddle and comfort you, if you try to be confident, there is something fundamentally wrong there. The same paradox you see with the MTAP community. They are just trying to comfort and delude themselves instead of actually facing the truth. Real MTAP men don't need to label themselves as such. Real confident bald men don't watch Bald Cafe.
In today's one, we're going to be talking about why it's actually better to go bald when you're younger rather than when you're older.
I mean, the cop is actually insane. I don't know if you are going to remember this guy, Bald Cafe. He's not as popular these days, he's not getting views anymore, but he was one of the bigger JBW channels back in the day, who went to Asia to make a living. Surprise, surprise, right? British balding YouTuber wannabe goes to China to get a girlfriend. What a shocker. And he's actually above average looking too, like facially, craniofacial level, he's above average. He actually reminds me of that actor from the movie Upgrade. I don't know his name, but he reminds me of that actor. Like bald British version of that actor. And despite being above average Chadlight, what did he do? He went to China, to Geomax. From the safety of JBW, behind a safe glass, he is telling young men to go bald. He decided to shave it off, wave the white flag against the Reaper instead of fighting it, but what did he do? Did he stay in the UK and compete there? He fled to China. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dude, no, you're just jealous, bro. He was just traveling. He did it for cultural reasons. He was just respecting their Chinese culture. From the safety of his status in China, he told young men in West to go bald. Just like a Ukrainian refugee woman in the UK, rooting for mandatory conscription back in Ukraine. He's safe and sound in the UK, she fled the country, doesn't have skin in the game, but he's like, oh yeah, all men must go to the trenches. Balding Cafe and other JBW YouTubers who are telling you to shave it off are like that. Oh yeah, bro, just go bald, go bald. It is considered being confident. Don't mind me, don't do what I do. Despite being above average facially, I had to flee to China. But you don't look at me, you go get bald. Guys, just imagine how many young men did not recover their hairline because of this guy. Because they were following the advice of this guy. Under the disguise of fake confidence, How many lives did he ruin? Just imagine, bro.
The sort of inspiration for this video. He made an awesome comment on one of my videos, and I really liked some of the things he said in that comment, and
This is such a pitiful cop, man. This entire comment is, oh, it is just better to be bald when you are young than old, cause you get it out of way earlier. What kind of logic is that, man? It is like, oh, it is better to lose one of your kidneys when you are young, because that way you get it out of way earlier. What kind of logic is that, man? You just willingly embrace all the negative consequences of something that you could have avoided in this day and age with all the available technology and medicine. Instead of saving it, saving your hairline, just forget about it. Point 2 is also another cop, of course. Playing with words to justify and cop. Oh, brother, it is not the only thing that makes a man good looking. Sure, it is not the only thing. It is not needed for a few selected naturally good-looking men like Jeremy Meeks. But for a lot of men, for the vast majority who are not like Jeremy Meeks, it is one of the essential parts of the total package. For a lot of men, being bald or not will be the determining factor, will be the difference between being attractive or not. I mean, there are so many examples of this. The TikTok I have shown you earlier. The kid literally went from a 38-year-old accountant to an actual cute zoomer. 4 points different, instantly. I know some people in the comments are going to be like, oh bro, Rehab, I know a guy. I know a short, bald guy who is pulling like crazy, only because he's comfortable in his own skin. This I know a guy call. They are almost always either A, cherry picking, or B, leaving out some serious context that would explain the situation. Like a short, bald guy being a white American in a country like Cambodia or something, using his money and status there. But sure, they always know a guy. Or yeah, I know a guy.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy.
But the number 3 in this comment is actually my favorite here. Peep this, guys. 200 IQ. You don't seem to age as fast when you are bald. Look at Patrick Stewart when he was 20 and when he was 40. He looked identical. Comedian. You know what that means, right? That is because he looked 40 when he was 20. Patrick Stewart didn't look 20 when he was 40. It is the other way around. I just find it so hilarious how desperately he tries to frame it as something positive. Oh, you don't seem to age as fast. Brother, that is because you start the game as looking old. When your starting point is looking old, of course you are not gonna seem to age as fast. Framing this as something positive is such a laughable cop. It is like a dude with a busted kidney bragging like, oh dude, I am so lucky. I am so lucky that I had this happen to me at age 21. This way, I got it out of way early. It is better to live with one kidney anyway. Cop after cop, man. I mean, what do you even do? What do you even do, bro?
Said that, you know, going bald in his last year of school was a really tough thing to deal with. But he goes on to list all of the positive things that come from that test, that come from testing yourself.
Instead of fixing a problem, just go through the ringer, bro. It will make you stronger. This is such a normie meme too. Oh, bro, you know, they call it Perastra. What was it? Paraspera adestra. Oh, only through adversity you can reach great heights. Oh, just endure, bro. That is the meaning of life. Paraspera adestra meme. Oh, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. No. Whatever doesn't kill you takes you to the rehab room.
Get it out the way early, and you can learn how to deal with it. And so it's not something that's going to be hanging over your head or hanging onto your head for a long time, you know. You're not going to be going through life worrying. Like, I'm sure there's some men worry out there, you know, because it happens to a lot of guys, hair loss, and guys aren't sort of thinking, oh, when's it going to hit me? When's it going to hit me? When's the hair loss going to come? You know, constantly checking, even though there might not be any signs of hair loss.
Sure, bro. Going bald early is better, even if you don't have any balding, even if you don't have any hair loss. Only because you might worry whether you are balding or not. Better off just shaving it off. I wonder if his viewers really believe this. Like, nobody actually believes that, right?
Even things like timekeeping. I spent a lot of time working on my nutrition and things like that, and I made a lot of friends in the gym. I was more social. Overall, just so many awesome things came out of going to the gym, and it's a habit I've sort of carried throughout since I was about 14, 15. You know, it's a habit that I've carried on doing, and I cannot recommend enough you know, having a regular exercise routine as part of your day and as part of your life. For a lot of guys, when they go bald young, they kind of develop these habits a lot earlier on. And I think that is such a massive positive of experiencing this hair loss at a young age.
And then he goes on a rant about gym maxing and how being bald is gonna force you to look better in other ways. Therefore, it is better to be bald. That is the logic he's trying to run. Bro, you know you ain't gotta be bald to work out, right? He goes on a rant on gym maxing, but like everybody works out these days. He said it himself. He started working out before he started losing hair.
Say 20 years old, all the way to sort of 40, 50, you pretty much look the same, right? There's not going to be any more dramatic changes to your appearance. And he gives the example of Patrick Stewart, the actor there. And I have to agree, if you look at him when he's younger, as he's sort of aged over the years, he's sort of kept this same look. And so it kind of appears that you don't really age. And again, I think that's another benefit of losing your hair younger, is the fact that people perceive you and you just kind of look the same age. You don't later on suddenly get this bam, you suddenly go from 40 years old to like 60 years old.
Instead, you look 40 at 20 and 60 at 40. So much better alternative, right? I mean, as bad as hair systems might be, I think it is better than being bald at 20. Shaving off really should be the last resort. If you get sides from finasteride, or if you are Norwood 5, Norwood 6, and simply cannot do a hair transplant to save your hairline, and you don't want to deal with the hassle of putting on a wig, then yeah, you might have to shave it off. But apart from that, like, this guy could have saved his hairline. Now, I said it in the beginning, Dutasteride, there's a new study that shows it might lead to significant change in sperm quality, even after you get off it, even after 6 months. You are off it. And there might be other potential sides associated with it. But I am a firm believer in the importance of hair. Even getting only the hair transplant without using the medicines is going to be much better than being bald. Even getting only the hair transplant without finasteride is much better than taking no action. Sure, you are risking to keep losing hair if you are not on medication. Even the transplanted hair can go empty off again. But still, it is much better than shaving it off. Now, for hair transplants, I have been meaning to make an entire dedicated video about hair transplants. Everything about them, what to expect, what is the entire process like and stuff. I just haven't been able to get around to doing it. But some small channel that's been on my radar made a video about that, talking about his experience, what to expect. So if you want a long and detailed video regarding a hair transplant in Turkey, about all the finer aspects, you can go watch this video. I won't make this video too long, guys, but I just want to address a couple points from that video.
25 at 40, or you want to look 40 at 25. The choice is yours.
It is crazy because there is literally both cafe logic. Instead of telling his viewers to look 20 at 40, he's telling them to look 40 at 20. So that they don't get demoralized about looking 40 when they are actually 40. Hey man, instead of recovering your hairline, just look like a 40-year-old at 20 so that you don't get demoralized about looking old when you are actually old. That is his logic, bro, if you can believe that.
Doctor himself will open the canals, which is the step where they open here in the front where they're gonna put the hair. It needs to be the doctor. You don't want to have a doctor who just draws the lines, takes the money, and then disappears, okay? Granted that if you're gonna pay more than 5,000 euros, that's already guaranteed that the doctor is gonna be there, but for the non-good lifers who are on a budget, just make sure that it's the doctor who opens the canals. Otherwise, it's like health risk potential, an array of issues you don't want to deal with, okay?
This is an important point. And not only about hair transplants, but in general, this is a good advice. This is especially true in third world countries because a lot of people go to Thailand, Turkey, Mexico, to get it for cheap. And in those places, they often pass it down to some practitioner, some nurse, instead of doctor doing it himself. And some places are so shady, even the doctor himself, the self-proclaimed doctor, isn't actually a doctor, So you gotta be careful when you choose the place. Make a proper research. I think this is a very important point. You are gonna remember that French guy who tried to get a beard transplant in Turkey. And it turned out that the doctor himself actually ain't even a doctor. Like some of you go to Cambodia and other, go into the jungles of some unknown country to get your surgery just to save money. And then you end up with suboptimal results. Bro, of course. Some operation room in the jungles of Nicaragua. What did you expect, bro?
Their main concern is how natural it looks, how detectable it is. But for us, like, screw that. Like, just take the hairline that gives you the best facial thirds. The more aggressive, the better it's gonna be. It being natural is merely a detail that you find out later. I will tell you later how to deal with comments from people, okay? But for now, just take the most good looking. Don't care about how natural it looks. Just look at mine. If you look at it, you can tell that I'm having a hair transplant. But just take a look at my facial thirds. They're almost equal, and that is what I wanted, and that's what I got by being aggressive. She tried to sway me off a lot of times. If I listened to her, my hairline would have been here, and I would have had to do the whole thing. I would have had to do the whole thing all over again, just because if I was not aggressive with her, okay?
This was one section I disagree with. Looking good and looking natural usually go hand in hand. They are not mutually exclusive. I don't agree that looking natural is merely a detail that you are gonna find out later. That should definitely be a consideration before going through with it. I agree, no doubt. The facial thirds is very important. You have to keep that in mind, but looking natural, hairline looking natural is also very important, I feel like. Because it comes down to what I call the golden rule of looks maxing. It is supposed to signal genetic quality. If a trait can easily be detectable as fake from outside, it won't have the same effect. It should be undetectable by an untrained eye. Then you gotta make sure that both density and thickness of the transplanted hair looks good, looks natural. This is one thing he said in the video that I don't agree with. But this is gonna be all for this video, guys. Don't be a free agent in life.